Front Stoop, what up? We back. Savvy D, Tony Crow. Shout out to Sim. I'm glad to be back. What's going on, Savvy?
Chilling. How you been, Tone?
Been good, man. Working hard, focusing on work and the Knicks, and we kind of slipped off on the Front Stoop. So we back. We here for the people. Here to talk about some things that's been going on in the culture. Um, how
Yeah,
you been?
yeah, I'm with you. Been good, man. Been chilling, been holding it down. You know what I mean? Trying to trying to stay busy day to day, you know, grinding. Enjoying all of this hip hop music that's been coming out.
That's a fact.
And of course, I've still been waiting for Royce to 5'9" to respond to Lupe. But we are, whew, it's been a hot minute, you know, but I maintain hope.
I tell you what. Oh, that wasn't a topic, but let me just ask you since you brought it up. At this point, do you even think he's gonna respond?
He acted like he was gonna respond, but he also acted like it didn't need to be anytime soon. So I'm like, dang, like I have to wait for this guy to do something in some future point in time in order to hear what comes as a follow-up to this. Because I mean, I've been listening to Royce for a long time. If he's anything like I feel like I know him to be, he's not gonna just not respond. Like he's gonna have something to say about that.
Yeah.
You know,
If he
someone said
was,
it might come out on the Slaughterhouse album, man. I'm
I
like,
was
if that
I was
happens,
I was just gonna say that.
was it you I was talking to that said that?
I was just gonna say that. If a Slaughterhouse album comes out officially, yeah, expect to hear some bars. At from everybody at everybody, because that's what Kirk was saying. He said, let's just
Exactly.
address everybody that we need to address on this album, and then we can leave it alone. But yeah, we got some topics to talk about. So let's just get started with the topics. Um, we're gonna start off with the questionable paperwork on Fat Joe. Um, Let me ask you this: when you first heard or saw the paperwork or heard about it, what was your initial reaction?
I figured like somebody probably like faked something or photoshopped something together and it was like one of those hoax things. Or like every once in a while there'll be like a trending topic and it's based on like a joke somebody made or something like that. But the name of the topic is real, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You feel
Well,
me?
well, it started
Thought it
with
was one of
Star.
those.
It started with Star. The Star Report.
Really? Uh,
So
That's where it
yeah,
started. Okay.
so he was the first one to come out and say he had the paperwork. I didn't watch his live on it. Um, but I didn't believe it. But I
Right.
also thought the fact that it came from Star, that
Right.
it might have been somewhat credible, even though he's
Mhm.
the biggest troll ever. Like he might have invented trolling.
Right.
Um, I think he's somewhat credible. At times. So I didn't know what to think. I was uh I was hoping it wasn't true, and I didn't really believe it. So after that, Cuban Link came on, and he did, an interview or a live on it. His initial live, he didn't want to believe it either, but he also said, Joe needed to come out and speak on it, and said he don't know if it was true, but he don't want to believe it because he had a connection with him in the past. So he was like, it looks bad
Right.
on himself. But he also was throwing shots like it could be true and it explains a lot and this and that. And coming from excuse me, coming from him, I did not believe it. You know what I mean? Knowing their history, knowing their past beef, ongoing beef that he doesn't want to let go, I 100% didn't believe it. Um,
Yeah, man.
and then from there, Joe
I
came
saw
out.
the right.
But go ahead.
I saw what Cuban Link said. I didn't see what Star said.
Okay.
So that was my intro to it. And then, like, by the time I had tuned in, Joe had already responded. So then I went and I saw that. And recently, I think, or probably not so recently, Cuban Link went back on and said and like apologized for the whole thing and like saw
Yes.
that it turned out to not be authentic and everything like that. And everything you said withstanding, right? Like the the whole beef, the the past dealings, you know what I'm saying? The whole ongoing shit there. Like I just felt like why would you jump the gun like that in the first place? You know what I mean? The verification is something I would have done before I said anything, because that's not just something that you just throw around. You know what I'm saying? That's a very serious allegation.
It is.
So so
Well, here,
I, I feel like it was a failure to be thorough on his part and on Star's part. And if you're gonna come at somebody like that and you're picking Fat Joe, I mean, sheesh, like at least come with something that seems like a credible, feasible document. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely, absolutely. And it's crazy. I've watched a lot on this topic. Um, I probably have seen everything except for Star. And I actually watched Star. I just didn't get a chance to catch that one. But nowadays in this day and age, it's probably easier than it's ever been to forge or fake some type of document. So ultimately, I think if that's something that you're into, you're gonna have to go and do the legwork and try to investigate it yourself and courthouse and what I mean, things of that nature. It's not something that you could probably figure out at home on your computer.
Right, exactly.
And Ten Toes Down, he did that interview with Cuban, and he admitted he did the legwork, went to the federal building, went to the police station and everything, and ultimately, there was no records of it, and it was a wild goose chase. But I do believe Cuban probably had something to do with it. Didn't want to be the first one to initiate it and gave it to Star somehow. I do believe that. But here's the scary thing, and I don't know if you're aware of it, but if you paid attention to you know Cuban and some others, this isn't the first time that there was a snitch allegation on Fat Joe.
Really?
Um, yeah,
Mm.
the first time it didn't end up being credible either. Um, but if you recall, the Bronx rat crew or clique, uh, KAR cars cars kill all rats. Um, I
Mm.
believe I believe Mason was on that album. I believe Lord Tariq was on that album, or at least on that song. um Hollow 4/5.
Hollow Four Fifth.
I believe he was on that album, and the majority of that rap album was geared towards Fat Joe. So you think of the name of the group, Cars, and then they're actually going at Fat Joe throughout. It was disturbing to me because I'm a big Fat Joe fan. I'm from the Bronx, so I was a fan of the majority of the artists on that record, and I didn't understand why they were doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I understood the personal beefs or animosity some of the people may have had with him, but it had nothing to do with ratting or snitching. And ultimately, that people claim to have paperwork back then and never produced it and things of that nature, or produced a fake paperwork, whatever it was. But it kind of came and went. So that was one thing that was scary to me when this new allegation did come out, because I'm like, oh man, I heard this before, but now they talking about documented paperwork and things of that nature. But I'm glad it did ultimately end up being a fake.
Right.
The sad and scary thing though is how dangerous that is. You know what I mean? Like you
Right.
said, those are serious allegations to put on somebody. Um, no matter who they are, how famous they are, or whatever the case. You know what I mean? Like that could change the trajectory of a person's career. Certain artists may not mess with them anymore. Um,
Right.
but then you got the question of today. Is today's day and age, is snitching acceptable? Is you know
I,
what I mean? Like, is it,
well, I'll
or are
say this.
there no repercussions anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. There doesn't seem to be, at least in certain cases. I just know this. It might not be acceptable socially, like it might be something that people clown you for forever. But I don't really know what gets people to stop listening to someone's music. You feel me? Like, if you like someone's music and they behave in a way that you don't like, for some people that would be easy enough to just stop listening to them. You know, some people separate the art from the artist and don't really care about what they do. They might disapprove of that person forever and still listen to the songs.
Hmm.
You feel me? Just to go and hear what it sounds like they're doing currently in their career, or just as fans still that like to listen. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's already an example. You know, of someone who has cooperated and everything seems to be going well. I mean, although the music wave isn't the same, so I guess in that regard there was consequences, but not in the serious legal way.
Well, I'll tell you what, that sounds like a great episode of the Front Stoop, where we could sit down and do a whole episode on uh cancel culture, snitching, and the consequences today.
Yeah,
And you know, can you separate the artist, or the man from the art, or the woman from the art? Um,
I always, well, all right, think of it this way, right? Do you remember Goldlink?
Vaguely.
Goldlink was an artist. He was making music. I enjoyed some of the music. He made that one song.
Was that a reggae artist?
Uh, I wouldn't say he's reggae. He's more of a rapper slash R&B kind of.
I remember the
And
name.
he had that one song, "Crew," that da 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 da. You know, um, I can't remember. I think it's called something "Crew," but he had a pretty good thing going. Mac Miller passed away, and he tweeted something about Mac Miller and like saying that he took an idea or something like that. And ever since then, it seems like a lot of people don't really like to listen to his music as did before. He's not out of the game, like he's still releasing music, but it's something that follows forever, you know. And a lot of people will tell you that it just didn't hit the same after that happened.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with who he is. I only remember him from a feature. I don't know if it was a big artist featured on his record or him featured on a big artist record. But other than that, because I remember people saying, "Oh, it's hypothetically Jay Z and Goldlink," and me not knowing who Goldlink was at the time. But like, so that was my introduction to him. And
Mm,
I don't know, did he have a record with Jay Z?
I don't think so.
Oh, all
I
right.
haven't
Well,
heard it if he
I
does.
only know him from a feature. I don't know if it was his record or not. But yeah, let's save that for another episode. I think we could get into cancel culture and what separating the man from the art
Right.
and snitching and I just wanted to touch on that. Thank God people have confirmed the paperwork was fake and
Right.
we don't have to have any question marks on Joe. But
Exactly.
on to the next topic. Still Joe. The next verses, I believe it's the 10th. Fat Joe versus Jaroo. A lot of hits.
Yeah.
A lot of hits amongst them too.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
or first initial thought, without really processing it. Who you got?
I want to say I have crack. You know, I have Fat Joe. I think like it just seems to me like as strong as Ja Rule's catalog is in that time period, at least from what I know him to be, really, really that guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think he has a bunch of stuff from there, but not much to fill out the whole 20. You feel me? But he might not have to because he definitely has like 10, 12 or so, you know. I feel like in that range, but he's doing battle against Fat Joe, who has Terror Squad and like stuff from like way back
Yeah,
in the 90s
his catalog
to
is
like
much larger.
what year was it when they made All the Way Up?
Uh, I'm not good with years, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's relatively
As recent as that, he has,
yeah yeah
bangers, like,
yeah yep. I mean, he's gonna
you
have
know.
to he Joe's gonna have to use his later catalog anyway. So even though his
Mm,
catalog is much larger, I don't think he could really use. I mean, he's not going to use the first album. I don't think, and it's not a knock to him. I had that album, one of the first albums I've had. But I think Ja has a strong 20. I think he has a strong 20. I think the longer the verses goes, the more it's in Joe's favor.
Yeah.
But because you gotta think, there's a level
And yet,
that Ja reached that I don't know if Joe reached yet.
I, yeah, you see, that's true. That's very true. You see, and the more I think about it, like Jaroo has a lot of like content to put that people, as soon as it cuts on, like, you know what I mean? Like as soon as the beat drops on it, people know what song it is. They know that they love this song, and it's going up. And I feel like the strength of that is I don't know, man. It's
I
gonna be
think
a good battle.
I
It's
agree.
gonna be I'm looking forward to it. Here's my question. Is it gonna be an in-person, like,
mm-hmm.
at a
It's
venue event?
somewhere in New York City.
Okay. Okay,
I don't
cool.
think they could get the Garden again, but
After the last,
I don't think they could get the Garden again, but it's somewhere in the city. Maybe Barclays. I don't know.
yo, for real, man. Yo, that last verse is still ringing off, man.
It is, and it's gonna be tough to top. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
gonna be
think
tough.
it can be topped just because of the dynamic of multiple artists. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro.
there's a meme going, there's a meme going around of a girl like running back and forth, running out of breath and drinking water, and it's like, yo, that's gonna be a Shanti running back and forth doing the songs
Oh
between
yeah.
Fat Joe and Jaroo.
Exhausted. Exhausted out there.
And
Do
allegedly,
you think
supposedly, she's gonna be in the building. So I think that's
do you
funny.
think J Lo would show up?
Mm, I think that would be big if she does. That'll be huge if she does.
If she shows up, he wins.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he asks. You know what I mean? So it's really about, where's she at right now. But that
I would
that that
definitely
that would be dope.
at least put it out there.
That would definitely be dope.
That would be crazy, and who's showing up for Joe, you know what I mean? Like Remy probably,
For sure.
you know. You think Lil Wayne shows up?
For Joe,
Yeah.
um I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah, I forgot about them records too. He got a couple Wayne records.
Bro, I'm telling you, like you look back through the years, and
But
every so often
Jaroo got some Hove records though.
yeah,
He got some Hove records,
yeah, that's true.
and don't sleep on his feature game too. Like he may not have a J Lo, but you know what I mean. He got some features. He's on some
Ja
features.
Rule has Ja Rule has a lot of instant wins. You feel me? Like if he plays this song, he wins the round. I don't care what you play in response to it. Right? I want to see how he chooses to what order he plays the songs in.
Hmm.
I I really want to see preparation and tact and how they go about these versus battles. You feel me? I don't want to just see people happy to be there, playing music and having a good time. Nah, this is a battle. Okay. After what Jadakiss did and and the whole Locks did, right? We can't have people just showing up to play around, you know. I'm thinking back to some of the battles that took place, and I'm like, man, if we could have them in live venues like we have some of these, it would be the event of the century, bro. Like it would be the greatest spectacle. You know, if he plays all of his best stuff like at the wrong time, and doesn't stretch it out.
So
I
what
want to
happened?
see how they match up the songs. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, strategy is gonna be key, I think, and I think if you come in wanting to win, you have to know you have to strategize, which means you got to know your opponent's records and you got to know what you're gonna put on if this record comes on. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's the way you got to come in looking at it. Like, all right,
Mhm.
pull. You probably gotta look at 40 of the guy's best records. You know what I mean? Not even 20,
Yeah,
because you want to be over prepared, and then you got to start
exactly.
matching yours up against him. Like, so, all right, if he plays this, I'm gonna play that. If he plays this, I'm gonna play that. You know what I
What do
mean?
you
So
play in response to deep cover?
I was literally gonna ask you that. I was
Oh,
literally gonna ask you that. Um um that's tough. That's tough. You might have to go with um Murder Inc. With Hove and DMX. I don't even
yeah,
know if to be honest, I don't know if there's a record beating that record. So I don't know if if that's your big joker. I don't know when you play it. You know,
right.
you know what I mean? Like,
You
but
know,
but I
it's a
think
nuke.
that's one record that, yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know if Joe has a record for that, but it's also gonna have to be strategic because you don't want to play that against Lean Back. You know what I mean? Because Lean Back might win, but for me, it wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it
Right,
depends on
yeah.
who. Like,
That's a good that's a good clash right there. I would like to see how that one came out. You feel me? I feel like anything with Jay-Z on it is just trouble. Like like very like you almost gotta play another song with Hove on it in order to properly count it. You feel me?
for sure.
But but and DMX is on it. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know, man. I just want to see a good battle. I don't want to see them take this for granted. And and it's pretty incredible how Versus has grown. We had Teddy Riley and Babyface on like Wi-Fi that couldn't support the event, playing their songs against each other, and I'm like tuned in like this is the greatest thing ever, and now they're doing it at big venues. They couldn't even get people off the stage at the last one.
yeah. Shout out to the
I
chat,
love it.
man. You guys you guys are making some great points. Oh, hold on, I lost them. But somebody said Lean Back is the big joker. Omega BKNY. Fulio, what Fulio said.
Shout out to
Shout,
the chat. I
oh
want to
my
say
bad, it's
something,
going.
man.
Go ahead.
Certain people don't need to do a versus, but certain people out there really, really should do a versus. I'm not gonna fully get into who. We can save that for a different episode. But there's definitely a certain style of musicianship that lends itself to being put up against other music. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then we
nah, for
get to see if some of these guys can still perform.
no, for sure, for sure. I'm looking I'm looking forward to this one, man. I think this one is gonna be very entertaining as well. Um they both have personality. they both they're pretty cool with each other as well. So I think it'd be a nice back and forth between them. So I think this is gonna be a good one. I think Joe's gonna win, but I don't want people to sleep on Jaroo, man, because that boy got
Right.
hits. That boy got like top charted hits.
He has a
Um,
lot of stuff that's like, okay, this might be unbeatable.
so
If,
yeah, this
if Ashanti is out there performing her heart out and really killing it, Joe is in for a long night, man.
I mean, she gonna be on both sides. That's he got at least 3, 4 joints with Ashanti too. So that's why that meme is so funny. But let's move.
I feel like Raw has more, no?
Oh no, for sure, for sure. That's
You
family.
know?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's but it's probably 2 to 1. You know what I mean? Every two Jack got Joe got one for with Ashanti. But let's move on to the other verses. And the Nori versus the Wu Tang affiliate. Uh, I don't know if you watched the Drink Champs episode with Mickey Fax, and I honestly don't even remember who the other two guys that were on were.
It was Mickey Fax, Asher Roth, and Blue
Yes,
f
yes.
from Blue in Exile.
Mm-hmm. Um, and
It
it
was
was
a decent episode. I enjoyed it.
I honestly don't even know if I only seen the clip of Mickey Fax, and
Mhm.
I actually was waiting for that episode because I was watching him somewhere else and he was talking about, oh yeah, I just did Drink Champs, blah blah blah, but didn't
Mhm.
give any context to what you know what I mean, what was said on it or anything of that nature. But it was just it was funny to me because they asked him about the Joe Button situation with Raekwon because he was in the room for that, and
Right.
he had a bunch of drinks as you do on Drink Champs, and
They were getting loose on that episode.
they were, and Nori initiated the whole thing, which is kind of sad because he's the one that said because he was like, yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
Mickey Fax said Joe had they made Joe apologize, and you could
For the
tell Mickey
whole thing.
Fax was trying to keep it quick and clean,
Right.
and Nori said something, and he was like, "Oh, you saw the tape," and now Nori's like, "Geek it, yeah, I saw the tape." He's like, he made
Yeah.
him apologize to the whole Wu Tang. I mean, even the flunkies, like Sons of Man, and you know, then Mickey's laughing and he says, Shaheen the rugged child, and EFN says Killer Army,
Right.
and they all laughing. So did you saw this whole episode, yes? Or at least that whole clip.
I, I definitely saw that portion of it. I don't know if I finished the entire thing, but I definitely saw most of it because I remember I stopped watching, but I can't recall how it ended.
What was your initial thoughts before anybody responded? What was your or did you see the responses first?
Oh no, no, no. I saw the clip first,
Okay,
and
so what was your initial thought?
I was thinking that if I was these guys, like if I ever went on Drink Champs, I wouldn't drink so much. You feel me? Like they they got way too loose, and he was just like going and going, and like I always wonder whenever somebody speaks on somebody in a way that's like careless like that, I always wonder like where's that person at currently? You know what I'm saying? And like we're all in hip hop. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? We all consume this content and like pay attention to what's going on. And Drink Champs is a really popular show, so I figured, all right. I mean,
Even if you're
he,
not
I
active,
wouldn't want to be called a
somebody's gonna
flunk.
tell you about it.
Well, exactly. I, and like being called a flunky and laughing, you know, some people can have a sense of humor and just laugh it off, but I completely understand what, why, and how it's a problem because there's just certain people whose name you just can't play around with like that, especially if you're discussing the circumstances of an altercation that took place in the past that a third party is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all good. Like
So let me
they're up there doing the interview, and then Mickey Fax is in the room as a person who's like being made to like witness this and like be apologetic in a certain way as well in that moment, right? And now he's on the show and he's gonna laugh at their lightness. You, you know what I'm
that was
saying?
my initial thoughts. My initial thoughts was Mickey Facts. How dumb are you?
Yeah,
You're literally explaining a story where you were scared to death. You got lucky that you didn't get approached. You witnessed your friend at the time, I guess, get punched for saying something derogatory towards a Wu-Tang member. And as you're telling the story, you say something or co-sign something derogatory to a Wu-Tang member. It was like, yo, you didn't learn your lesson? Like you barely made it out the last one. Because they said it was like, nah, you was co-signing them. You was co-signing them. And
right.
here you are
Yeah,
doing the same thing. Like Nori, I assumed he had some type of relationship with some of these guys. You know what I mean? If not every single one, some of them.
right,
And if you know Nori, now I'm not saying like Shaheem and some of the other members know Nori personally, but if you know Nori and if you follow him, you know his vocabulary is not the greatest, right?
right. Yeah,
So I don't want to say often, but he will sometimes use words and not really know the definition or the direct definition.
right,
So he may be using the word out of context. I don't think he was
right,
intending. I don't think he was intending to
right.
put
To
dirt on their
disrespect them.
names, disrespect
Right,
them. I think he was really trying to make the joke about Joe Button. I,
right,
and instead of making a joke on Joe Button using the word flunky, he was making a joke about the guys that he was made to apologize to. Um, basically saying he made you apologize to people that had nothing to do with the situation. I think that's the context of what he was trying to say.
right,
But
right. Exactly.
Nori being who he is, he 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 used the wrong word or the word in the wrong context. I don't think he was meant to use flunkies or that was his intent. I think he thought it meant something else, if you will. And but that's the beauty of Nori, man. So, sometimes he'll say something as a joke, and it may not be taken the right way, and now you gotta deal you gotta deal with the consequences. Um,
Yeah,
do
man.
you so you agree? You don't think I mean, it seems like Shaheem is the one that is most upset from what I've seen. Some of the other members, made their little comments, but I don't
Right.
think they're seriously upset. You think it's warranted?
I,
how do
I
you think
think
it
it's
gets resolved?
I think it's warranted, but I'm not sure where the current conflict derives because if I'm not mistaken, there was already a direct conversation between he and NORE about this where he accepted an apology, if I'm not wrong. But then another conflict came up between the way that other Wu affiliates had went about accepting the apology on the behalf of others, perceivably, you know what I'm saying, possibly, right?
Nah,
And
I'll just real quick because that didn't really happen because it's Killer Priest who accepted the
right,
apology, but he
right.
made it clear. This is only for me. I can't,
This
you
is
know what I mean?
about me, right,
Yeah, I can't
right,
apologize. I mean, I can't accept it for anyone else. And Shaheen made it clear prior to that conversation, don't accept no apology from me. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think it was clear. It was clear.
Mm.
And if you listen to Nori, he he uh he didn't mention Shaheem at all. You know you know what I mean?
Right.
Like in his own, I'm not defending him. His defense was, I only said Sons of Man. He said Shaheem. EFN said Killer Army. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So he was like, I'm gonna apologize for what I said. You know what I mean? Like, and even as he went further,
right.
he would say Killer Army. He would say Sons of Man. He never would say Shaheem's name, which
Never,
I think he
never.
was doing intentionally. You know what I mean? Like, because Shaheem was the one the most vocal in his being upset. I
Right.
just thought it was funny.
I feel like in the same way. Wait, so all right, that happened, right? After that, wasn't there like another exchange where they're saying like um it was like Shaheem standing next to Ghostface and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna clean house or whatever,"
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Dang, like, what's the problem?" Like, you feel me? Like, it seemed like certain things sprang up afterward, and I'm just like, you know, hopefully all of that gets sorted out, you know, internally, and there's no more like exchange of words in media because this is the most I've seen of the affairs of the Wu affiliates in a long time, and I was just happy to hear from Killer Priest. I didn't know he had
Podcast.
a podcast. You know, I wanted to start to tune into that for sure because you know I I like me some Killer Priest.
And to your point, Savvy, I think that's the beauty of this whole situation. You haven't heard from Killer Priest. You just got reintroduced to him by, what I mean, by accident. You know what I mean?
Right,
I think all of these guys could come out right now, whatever venture they're doing, whatever business they're doing, whatever they're into. Now would be the time to market it just off of who you are and your name being brought up, or your affiliates' names being brought up. You know what I mean? So now's the opportunity. I mean, you've had RZA doing interviews where he's naming, or actually the guy's naming Wu affiliates, and he's stamping them or not. And so now anybody who ever had a association with Wu Tang is getting their name brought up. You know what I mean? And Riz is right there saying, yeah, he was signed to Wu Records. He was signed to Wu Records.
yeah,
Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah, my that's Jizz's cousin in that group. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
so I think it's a beautiful thing that everybody now gets some kind of booster shot, kind of where
I
you know what I
did
mean?
see
Like
that exactly.
they could go out there and and do something. You know what I mean? Get another breath of fresh air, another shot at this. You know what I mean? Get some more
I
recognition.
think it's a I I think it's a great time for guys like that to show back up again too.
Agree.
You feel me? Assuming that you know all or most of them are still rapping, you know that that still trying to rock. You feel me? I was listening to Liquid Swords again, you know, for the first time in a while because I love Killer Priest, you know, on that, and it was just and it was cool to hear RZA going through and just like certifying everybody on that one. One show he was on some show, I forget what it was, but he was going through go, going through the history and the ties and everything like that, and I was like, this is dope.
That is dope.
You know, like a, a lot of people need this clarity.
And I
You know,
definitely went back and heard some names and was like, yo, I forgot about it. And, you know what I mean? Went back and listened to some records. So yeah, yo, I think it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully it's all love, you know what I mean, gets rectified, no violence. Do a record together, something like that. I think that's dope. I think that's dope. These guys are grown men at this point. I don't think they want to result to violence. So let's hope they squash it and everything gets moved on peacefully. Um, moving on though, let's get to that
absolutely.
Donda versus certified lover boy. Um, I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard both of them in their entirety. Um,
Hmm.
Kanye's album, I think it's too long for me to just sit down and listen to in one sitting. So I
Yeah,
think that's gonna be a road trip album where you know what I mean I hit the road and just listen to it probably
I'll tell you what.
twice in a row. But from
I'll tell you
the
what.
few songs I've heard, I do like it.
It sounds good in the car, especially in the car. So that would be a great occasion for you to
Okay.
listen to it. Um, on, on the first listen, I wasn't really that much of a fan. I thought it had some cuts on there, but the overall album, I didn't really enjoy or was ready for, but not because I didn't enjoy the songs in their entirety. I just was looking for better rapping on the album. You know, I
Mm.
wanted a rap album. I knew he was gonna do something, you know,
Spiritual.
gospelly, like God, Christian rap oriented type stuff. Um, but it grew on me when I listened to it again on second listen, not really looking for a traditional rap album
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of trying to see what exactly he was like creating. I didn't enjoy Jesus is King. I gave it one spin and then I kind of just never really went back to it, you know. But this one was different. It kind of it, it landed. I feel like as it compares to CLB, right? I think the best song on Donda, like the peak of Donda, might be just a tad bit higher than the peak on
Mm.
Certified Lover Boy, but I've only had a couple of days with Certified Lover Boy, whereas I've had a full week now with Donda. And I
That was
was
Jay's
looking
intention.
for I was looking for a lot of good raps on the Certified Lover Boy album, and I got them. I got them. So I definitely like more songs from that Certified Lover Boy album than I do from
Mm.
Donda. But I like a good amount of the songs from Donda, and the production is crazy.
Yeah,
Like
that's the standout.
he just manages to create incredible music, and then whatever direction he goes with, like the rapping or like the songs he's making, is kind of what either makes me like or not like something he's made. The last thing I liked that I really liked that was his album was Pablo.
Mm.
I thought that was dope. I thought Kids See Ghosts had some cuts on there. I wasn't messing with Ye, and this one's cool. Certified Lover Boy, man, oof, that no
Hold
friends
on,
in the industry.
hold on before you get to Certified Lover Boy. Because you made a good point. When I first put on Donda, um,
Mhm,
I was kind of just laying down. You know what I mean? I had it playing, wasn't really listening to it. The beats did
mhm,
stand out to me, but again, I wasn't focused on it. But when I put it on my ride to work, um, it was hitting. So, and
mhm.
I knew I was on my way to work, so I was kind of just skimming through them, like, listen, first 30, 45 seconds. Oh yeah, all right, I'm gonna like this one. Next one, 30 seconds.
Have you
All
ever
right.
enjoyed Christian rap before?
Um, not intentionally, but yes.
I have as well, not intentionally, and I haven't gone back looking for it. I I I, I don't particularly subscribe to any sort of, belief system, right? But this album, despite the themes on there that normally would turn me away or I would be apathetic to them, I actually enjoy. And it's a clean album. I don't have any clean versions of any albums in my library.
Mm.
And I enjoy it. I think he did a great job with getting people to stay within the theme, uh,
The,
getting them to minimize the amount of cursing or
the
like,
crazy thing is, I didn't even notice that yet. Like I kept hearing it from other people who talked about it, like, oh, there's no curse. You know what I mean? But in my listen, it didn't stand out. You know what I mean? Like I didn't notice it. To me, that's a sign of good performance. You know
right.
what I mean? Like
Yeah, definitely. And I'll say this. I, I'm not for or against clean versions of cursing or anything like that, but I do like a lot of songs that the lyrics, don't really have a lot of curses in them. Um, a lot of people are really good at writing raps that get the point across, and you actually don't even notice that they're not cursing at all because they just have the exact words,
bars is
that they want to
bars,
put
man.
in there.
Bars
Bro,
is
like,
bars.
yeah, if it goes, it goes. You feel me? And actually, it works to your advantage to rap that way because when you do submit a clean version of something somewhere, it'll minimize the disruptions in the song and people can enjoy it more thoroughly. You feel me? So he did a great job with that. Drake did what Drake does. There's singing on the album. There's like this experimental new R&B dark type of music. There's like there's a lot of different variations in the types of music and beats and choices
Yeah.
with the direction itself of the album. Um, I like that No Friends in the Industry. I
Hmm.
like the intro song, right? He has a song on there. It was him, 21 Savage, Project Pat.
I
There
don't
was a
think I
song
heard
on
that one
there.
yet.
Oh, okay, okay. And then there was a simple look. Uh, there was the UGK, the good weed, good drink, good. You know what I mean? Like he had some stuff on there that I was like, wow, this is a great, like there's some great beats on this album as well, right? He does well with everything he chooses to do. He sings well. He does the R&B well. Uh he he raps well. I always kind of wish he would rap harder sometimes, but he did did what he needed to do. He threw some shots. You know, there's a track he has on there with Rick Ross and Weezy. Um,
You know what? I don't think I listened to that one either. I think that song
mm,
came on as I, I mean, as I was getting out the car to go to work, and so it might be like the next song on, like if I press play on my Spotify, it might be the next song
I know you already see the memes flying with the music video scene in the desert with Kawhi Leonard.
with Kawhi. Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
did see that.
you feel
Um,
me? Like, you know, he's got some fun stuff going. He has that song, too too sexy. It's him and Future and
I wasn't
Thug, I
feeling
think.
that song. I wasn't. I did
You know what I'm
listen to
saying?
it, and I tried like I listened to it right straight through. I didn't skip it. I didn't fast forward it, but I wasn't really feeling that one. Um,
Yeah.
so you got certified lover boy if we comparing the two, you rocking with that one.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. You see, because just like the way that Donda hits when all the songs are like just cutting on, like if you play it all the way through, it's a pretty good experience. You feel me? There's skips, there's definite skips on that Drake album,
Mm.
and it would be tough. I couldn't really call it at this point entirely because I want to give a fair shot to Certified Lover Boy, but I kind of just know the songs that I'm gonna like and the songs that really aren't for me. It's the first Drake album in a long time that I've listened to immediately and not waited a month
Mm,
before I actually hit
mm.
play on it and check it out. Um, when I compare it to his last one, I think it is better. You know,
What's the
that
last
last
album?
one was also a long one. That was Scorpion.
Scorpion. Yeah.
He did the Dark Lane demo tapes, but I didn't really go through and like do my due diligence on that, so I can't really,
On the
you know what
demo
I mean?
tapes, I actually like those
Yeah,
records on there. I thought I thought those would have been good on the album. Um, I think
they're
I
good.
like two out of it was three tracks, right? I think I like two out of the
Is
three
it three
tracks.
tracks?
Yeah,
I
it's only
thought he had like a few more. Oh wait, no, I think you're thinking of the Scary Hours too, right?
oh, okay. I like those.
The one with Lil Baby, the wants and needs,
Hmm.
and the other one, I think there was one with Ross, no?
Yeah.
Or is it
Yep. I think it was
no?
Ross.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there was a third one. That was a dope little drop he did. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that one. Um, but he did another one that it was like full length, and if you go through his albums on like a streaming service, it's gonna be under like compilations or EPs or whatever. It's not gonna be included with his regular album. At least it is for me. You feel
Hmm.
me? So I think it was just like a little something to drop in between,
And it's all
just
new
to hold
records.
people over. Yeah, I mean, I think some of them leaked actually because
Hmm.
there was a few leaks along the way. I remember I would hear little snippets here and there.
Okay. So I think I gave both albums the same amount of attention. So I think my assessment is fair.
Mhm.
But I still need time to digest them both fully. Donda, that might have to wait until I go to the city when I drive to the city, just because that journey is almost 2 hours. Um,
Yeah,
so I can listen
yeah,
to that twice, you know what I mean, and get to the city. Um, but Certified Lover Boy, I can tell it's not gonna be my favorite Drake album. I can tell that off the back. Um,
right, exactly.
but I I think it's still a good album. Um, off my just snippet and skimming through both of them, I gotta rock with Donda right now. But it's kind of a cheat code because it's more so because of the features. Every
Mhm.
feature that I did listen to, I think it was like the A game. You know what I mean? Like I think everybody brought their A verse to
Right,
Kanye West. Um,
yeah.
and there's songs on the Drake album that I like, but there's definitely songs that I know I'm skipping, and I'm probably gonna always skip it. You know what I mean? So when I
I'll say
have it in
this
my
though.
playlist, it's gonna be a lot shorter of an album.
Right,
It's gonna be
right.
condensed.
Exactly, exactly. And that's the way I'm doing it too. Like I'm slowly going through and just taking away the ones I like. I will say this, some songs that I didn't like at first that are starting to grow on me already, so I'm starting to find those as well. But when uh when I heard the Jay-Z feature on this one,
Hmm.
I liked it better than the one I heard on Donda.
Mm.
So he got the better Jay-Z feature. And I wanted to
I,
just briefly.
I think you got to look at it on the context though. Now I agree with you. His verse on Drake's
Mhm.
album was definitely a better verse, but
Right.
what he was talking about and saying on
Absolutely. It could not have been
Donda,
undone. Right.
you know what I mean? Like that joint was it was needed.
It was
You
meant
know
to
what I
be a
mean?
spiritual album.
It was kind of late. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like he should have been had that verse. You know what I mean? Like, but that was beautiful, beautiful. But I agree. I
It
think so.
was it was because considering the history there of the conflict being the first time that they were coming together, the topic matter that he chose and the direction that he
Hmm.
chose, it definitely, you know, it was dope. It was amazing to create that moment, you know. But and not but because that kind of tips the scales to me in a big way because of the significance of the verse. You know, I will just ask you this, right? What do you think about the subject matter of the whole verse on CLB? Did you hear that track?
Hmm. I would have to listen to it again, but I know I know he went in on that verse.
Yeah,
I know that. Like I remember again because every when I listened to both these albums, um, it was on my way to work or on my way home. You know what I mean? So I haven't really sat with them. So you know what I mean? And a lot of times I'll find a song I like. I might listen to that one song all the way. You know what I mean? Back on repeat while I go to work. So I don't remember what he said in that verse, but I do remember he went in on it. You could tell me the subject matter, and then I'm gonna tell you a point for one of his records.
the uh the ongoing conflict there, or like I don't know if it's really a conflict now, but it seemed like from the Rockefeller era, this movement was so big, and not everybody came out a winner on top, right? And
Mm, that's when he
there's
was. That's the verse that allegedly he's talking about Dame.
people think it's Dame, people
Okay,
think it's
okay,
D
yeah.
Haven,
I remember the verse now. I remember.
right?
It just
You
dawned on
know,
me.
I
That
don't want to directly quote, you
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, but people saying he's talking about Dame, he's talking about D
Mm-hmm.
Haven, he's talking about, you know, whoever he's
No,
talking about,
I remember it now. He went in.
you know.
He went in and honestly to be honest, I like he's dope. He's nice, you know what I mean? I don't like that from Jay right now. You know what I mean? Like he went in, but he's like he's grown, he's reached levels that kind of nobody else in hip hop has reached, right?
All right.
At what age or at what stage
Does that become
do
like,
you let bygones be bygones? You know what I mean? Does it do you leave all that? You know what I mean? Like he's more known for not saying something, not saying stuff, not responding than
all right,
actually saying it. And then at this point, like back in the day, I used to wait for those moments. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Jay don't say nothing, but where he gonna say it, he gonna say it in the verse. You know what I mean? He ain't doing an
yeah,
interview. You know what I mean? So I appreciate him having that consistency, but I would like to see maybe either an amendment or not say nothing about it. You know what I mean? Just leave it alone.
right, exactly. You know, I feel like certain things become taboo once you get to a certain scale. Far be it from me to like claim anything to be taboo in the verse though, because I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy hearing that. You know, it does strike me as odd at this point in time, though. You feel me? But if we take it at face value and assume that everything he's saying in the verse is true, right? Then I could completely understand the frustration and why eventually something could leak out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll
Mm-hmm.
get this off my chest right quick and just not touch it again. You feel me? But
Nah, for
uh,
sure.
but I'm glad that that
What
Jay is Jay. You know, he's up. He's made it. You know what I mean? He's fine.
Fulio
Should be
said,
cool.
"Did you hear the Kanye Three Stacks track?
That that was gonna be the next thing, right?
That's on
So
Donda.
it was supposed to be on Donda. He recorded it when he didn't really like know about like the constraints of the subject matter of
Mm,
the album. Well, actually he did, but he didn't know about the no cursing thing, right? So some of the lines in there he had in there made it not suitable for release. And it's probably a good thing too, because I mean, on the
you,
same song, Kanye is talking about Drake and like,
you you heard it?
oh yeah, oh yeah,
All right, I gotta listen to it now. I'm tight. I'm out the loop. I
oh fam, I'll send it to you, bro. It's nice. It, it's real nice, bro.
and you said he going at Drake?
I mean, in terms of a diss, it's not that flagrant. Like he's just saying certain things, talking about, text message thread, how he put him in a chat with somebody, and then just like small stuff, and then the way he was talking, though, it wasn't suitable to be on Donda, where he wants it to be clean and about God and Jesus and everything like that. So I could see why it didn't make the cut. But I'm so glad it leaked, because the album that Andre 3000 had on that song, the the verse he had on that song was incredible. Like, I'm so glad to have heard it. It's called Life of the Party, right?
Mm,
And he knew that the album was going to be called Donda, and it was going to be themed that, like, supposedly dedicated to Kanye's mom. So
wow.
he talks
Okay.
about his own mom and his
Okay.
parents, and he goes into that whole, like,
Mm.
Andre 3000, and it's
Only
dope, man.
only Kanye West is gonna get an Andre 3000 verse and then not
And
and
not
not
put it
have it
on.
on the album. I'm glad it came out, but jeez, man, like
Dude is
that's
different, bro.
ridiculous.
Dude
Oh,
is just different, bro.
so what do you think of the Drake? I mean, he's talking about a couple of records, but the track at on Certified Lover Boy, that might be that might be my favorite Drake.
Yeah.
Anytime he put the time and the location, you know what I mean, as the title of the record, like that might be my favorite Drake. Was
I'm
it
sorry.
seven?
Say it
Was it
again. Like,
7 a.m.
oh
in?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? What do you have?
yeah,
Yeah, like 6 a.m. in Toronto, or you know what I mean, 5 a.m. and anytime he put the time of the day and the place he at on the record
bro.
as the title, like that's my favorite
He
Drake,
goes
yo.
dumb every time.
He goes dumb every single time, yo. So like that was one of the records that I listened to or repeat, or you know what I mean, as I drove to work. Like, and he went in on that joint. The should have
He,
gave you a drive of my address instead of posting it. Like yo,
oh man,
that like early, that might be my favorite track on the album. Um,
I like
but
that one. I like You Only Live Twice.
I might not have got to that one.
Okay, all right, yeah, yeah, okay.
It's
That
just
one's a
him or
cold
it's a
one.
feature?
It's him, it's Lil Wayne, and Rick Ross.
Yeah. I didn't get to that one.
And
I
shout
didn't
out
get
to
to
Rick
that one.
Ross, man. He's still spitting fire. Like, he's still just. I was just going back to appreciate Rick Ross again after I heard that, because it was dope to hear him with Drake and Lil Wayne again. You know what I mean? That's been a connection there that they've had for such a long time, and pretty much every single time they come out with some fire. So I was glad to hear that. I remember the early Maybach Music collaborations became the biggest thing in the city when they came out.
Um,
It was pretty dope, man.
no, for
Shout
sure,
out
for
to
sure.
them. Lil Wayne has been ripping these verses that he's been giving the people.
He
Like
has.
he's just been
He's been on a
tearing the
tear.
mic a new one,
He's been on a
and
tear. It
and
might
just
be. It might
turning
be time
in.
for a Wayne album. It might be.
eh,
It might
eh,
be time for a Wayne album. Like if he's in
I
his
would
bag right
definitely.
now, you know what I mean. If
Hell
he's in
yeah,
his bag right now, the way he is, if he could sit down and just, because it don't take him long, allegedly, supposedly.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like sit down for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, however long it really take you to do it, and drop it immediately. Um,
crank out a hard one.
And you know what I mean, like, yeah, man. Let's just get another Wayne album. You know what I mean? It's and let's pray for him. I hope he stay healthy.
He always pops up with a really hard verse every time it starts to look like he's fading out or he's lost a step or something like that. I remember when Quality Street Music 2 came out, right? DJ Drama's album. And it had that intro song with Lil Wayne on it. And that was the first Wayne verse I had heard in a long time. That like the first time I heard it, I was like, yo, it got a reaction out of me. It sounded like vintage Wayne. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like classic Wayne. And I was just like, if this guy can just tap into this at any moment in time, you kind of start to look at them as one of those people that will just make music and experiment and do different stuff. But at any given time, I can just jump right back in this lane and rip these verses the same way I used to, you know. So kudos to him. He's been doing well, you know.
For sure, for sure.
A, a lot of guys are like starting to show back up and throw their hat in the ring.
Blanche Tears in the chat. Salute.
Kendrick.
Oh, he coming.
You know what I'm
he
saying?
coming.
Smoking on top fives.
Let's let's move on to album of the year so far. We don't have to make a definitive selection. We could probably just name a couple of joints that's you know what I mean, that's in our maybe top 5, no particular order, albums of the year this so far. I'm throwing
Do you want to go first?
I'm throwing that King's Disease in there. You know I'm doing that.
King's Disease is definitely in there.
So I'm gonna start with that one. We'll go back and forth. So I'll name one, you name one. You know what I mean? And we'll figure this thing out. See if we could come up with a consensus.
Mm-hmm.
So what you got? I got King's Disease 2.
Okay, I also have King's Disease 2. I'll give you Chorus of the Inevitable.
Damn, you might have to send that to me. Who album's that?
Lloyd Banks.
Okay, I got it. It's in there.
That's that Lloyd Banks joint.
Yeah, that's because it's.
You ever heard it?
I didn't know what the letters stood for.
Oh, okay, Cody.
Yeah, I didn't know what it stood for. I'm like, yeah,
bro. Yeah, that was an album.
It was. I will concur that. I'll put that in my top 5. Now, you tell me if this classifies as an album, but it's the only full album that I've listened to since King's Disease 2. I mean, like in its entirety, and that's Hitler Wears Hermes 8, that West Side Gun. Yo, I'm a fan of West Side. That might be his best project, yo.
That one was cold. Ooh, boy.
Like,
yo,
that might be that might be my favorite project from him.
There's a real conversation to be had about West Side Gun. There's a real conversation to be had about West Side Gun. Before I even get into that, okay. First of all,
is it an album? Does it classify as an album or because if not, I gotta pick something up. All right.
Oh yeah, no.
All right.
Hitler Wears Hermes 8 is definitely an album. It definitely counts, right? He has Claire's Back on there, right? He has, bro, the song Right Now with Stove God and Jada Kiss. Stove God
all over that album too.
Absolutely bro, he's going stupid on that album. Rome Streets went dumb on that album. I love the features he's choosing. He's going solo a lot, and he's got two songs with Conway. One of those songs is him, Conway, and Benny. It's Griselda. You know, every time he does this, there's gonna be at least one West Side Gun, Conway, and Benny the Butcher cut. You feel me? And I love that. And every time you get these guys together, they never ever disappoint. You feel me? Got
That
so much money, told that don't touch me.
touch me.
Ah, told that don't touch me.
Yo,
Yo, this man's
Conway
been in his bag,
and West Side going back and forth on some Ray Ghost, some Nas and AZ. You know what I mean? I was like, I wasn't expecting that, and it meshed. It sound. I mean, granted, of course, they done plenty of records together, but just the way they was just bouncing off each other,
bro.
yo,
Bro,
that's the only album that I've listened to in its entirety multiple times since King's Disease
yes,
too.
yes. West Side Gun is a master curator. He has this one producer, Conductor Williams, that has been cooking up fire, right? Ever since Pray for Paris. I think that was the first Conductor beat that that he used. At least it was the first one that stood out. He made that beat. You get Roll Step, right? Off of the Pray for Paris album. Check that one out. It's hard. And I already talked about the features, but just the way that West Side Gun goes about his business, right? He can rap, he has the personality and the flavor. And then, I, have you heard the song with Fab on the soundtrack for Godfather of Harlem? It was West Side Gun and Fabulous.
Brick after brick, brick after brick.
Brick after brick, yes. Brick after, yes, yes. Fam, tell me that wasn't the hardest Fab verse you heard
That
in a
that
long time.
that should have been on that album too.
Bro, brick by brick, bro. Like
And
that
Ross
was
is on
hard.
that too, right?
Was he? Was he?
I
I could have
think when
sworn it
I
was just him and Fab.
I think there's a third person on that song because and it might be a video for it.
I think there is. Actually, I think you're right. And and man, like I remember hearing that song and thinking about, man, Fab. Like it, it's good to hear him like that again. You feel me? Like
Yeah, for sure.
that that was some great Fab we got. I didn't particularly enjoy his last few releases. I, I thought Summertime Shootout was dope, and the ones that came after that weren't so much for me. And so to hear him like that again, I feel like West Side Gun just brings the best out of people, like and like gets them to rap, you know, whether it be through his beat selection or whatever it is, you know. So
So
definitely wanted to point that out. Hello, where's made as Hello, where's Hermes 8 is yours.
yes, it's on you. What you got?
I'm gonna give you hmm. The House is Burning.
Again, you gonna have to
Isaiah
tell me.
Rashad joint. Isaiah Rashad joint.
You told me about that too
Right,
in
right.
the group chat. I might not have I might not have even gave it a go. But
Have
I'm gonna take your word for it and look it up, do the math.
There's some good ones on there. It's it's dope.
He's he's
TDE.
TDE. Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I remember when you definitely hit the group chat and it was talking about it.
yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah. He was
Man,
cooking.
I'm trying to think if I should keep it Griselda. But everybody, I know they're gonna talk about my New York bias.
I think
um,
I know the one you're thinking of too.
I don't know because I'm actually torn if I'm gonna stick with Griselda. I'm torn. These guys drop so much music, man. you
Bro,
got you got to salute to them. Hmm. Was was uh was Conway's album that was
that was
last
this
year,
year,
right?
yeah.
That was this year.
No, no, yeah, it was this year. I think it was January. I think it
Yeah,
was January.
then I'm rocking with Conway.
The one that had Sister Abigail on it and all that. Yeah, yeah, and Scatterbrain and all that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was this year, man. And I'll tell you what, that drum work thing he has going, that is gonna be fire for a while. I saw him live like, man, like 2 weeks ago. And bro, I gotta tell you, man, it's one of the best live performances I've ever seen. Like on that
Really?
Love Will Get You Killed tour, he did a date down in North Miami, and it was just fire, bro. It went off though. Like I really enjoyed what he did. His live performance was not surprisingly dope because I saw him in West Side Gun once before, but that was at a West Side Gun show for Hitler Wears Him at 7, right? And he came out to do Undertaker versus Goldberg. And when he came out to do Undertaker versus Goldberg, I lost my lid. Like, like I completely lost. Like I was acting a fool because I was halfway expecting it, but halfway not expecting it. And I've seen each of them live, but I never saw all three of them together. I got to see Benny, you know, in the full with them, all three resulted together. You feel me?
mm,
So that
no.
Conway album is yours, right? Shout out to Love the Genius and Jay Ski's drum work, two dope MCs, right? That one is yours. I wanna, hmm, you see, because you definitely took mine. But did you hear the Ransom album?
Nah, but again, I rock with Ransom, and I know he's dope. So I got no quarrel. What's the word? I got no beef with that.
Yeah, yeah. Ransom. He did. He actually has two albums out this year. He did 7. He did Heavy as the Head,
I did hear that. I did hear Heavy as
right?
the Head.
Him and Big Ghost. That one was fire. You know, that's in my contenders for sure. What you got?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I had somebody just up. The Pop Smoke, the second album. That was this year, right? I'm
That was this year.
gonna rock with Pop. I wasn't even in,
Yeah.
rest in peace, Pop Smoke. I I really like his music. I didn't really listen to it prior to. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I go with Pop, Mega
Mm.
BKNY. You right. That Styles P album. That Styles P album.
Yo,
You are so correct.
ghosting.
Yes,
Yes. Tough. Whew.
that's four. That's four for
I
me,
think
three
that's
for
4
you.
for you. Right, yeah, I think so. I think so. So I want to throw I want to throw a curveball at you. Call me if you get lost. Call me if you get lost, Tyler the Creator.
Mm.
Fam.
It was a dope album. I ain't gonna front. I only listened to it twice, but
Right.
I came out highly impressed. I knew he could rap though. You know what I mean? I knew he could rap.
Right,
It's
exactly.
just sometimes I just had to be in the mood for it. Surprisingly though.
Right, exactly. The Damo Genesis joint. Damo Genesis is one of those rap guys that can really go. You feel me? He can really rip. I enjoyed hearing that from him. I enjoyed the production. Hot take, or maybe it's not a hot take at this point because Tyler is blazing hot, right? But I have felt since he came out with Bastard that he was like one of the best producers.
Mm.
Like one of my favorite producers, and now I believe one of the most skilled and talented producers as well. I feel like he's one of the most underrated people in terms of the quality of his production. Who For a person who also raps, I think him, Big Crit, and J. Cole are in that boat together, right? Uh, and Call Me If You Get Lost is dope. You know, Tyler the Creator is a character for sure, but the music stands as a great product to me. So I wanna definitely include that.
um,
So that's 4-4, right?
yeah,
Wanna do one more each?
Cold World, J Cole, man, that J
The
Cole
off season.
album. That's another one. Like it was in my rotation for a very long time, and then I just lost it. You know what I mean? So I
I
think
lost
like
it too.
a week ago I stumbled upon it again, and I was like, yo, I forgot. Went back and listened to the whole album.
I
Yeah, that
I
J
give
Cole album.
I give you two Ransom albums, right? And I want to narrow that down to one. I want to put Seven over Heavy as the Head, right? Um, because that one I felt like, it's shorter, but it's more densely packed, and it's just like I just really mess with the theme and how he approached that project, right? So gonna gonna just narrow that one down to one album. I'm gonna throw another wild card at you, right? For 2021, one of my albums of the year contenders is Peter Rosenberg, Real Late. I'm not a big Peter Rosenberg guy,
I didn't hear the album, but I heard it was a dope album.
but but the
It's a
way he put that
compilation,
album
right?
together,
Like
yeah,
he's not
yeah.
rapping, right?
No, 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 no.
Okay. I heard like like it was like, yo, that Peter Rosenberg album was dope. I'm like, wait, what? Because you know what I mean, he be putting his
Oh
hand in
man,
like everything. So I'm like, I know this dude ain't just drop a rap album.
bro, he he had to have been putting this together for a while, but it sounds like current. So maybe he's just able to put these things together real quick, but I don't know if he has any other albums besides this, or if this is the first one that he's released under his own name and then just had everyone featured. But I was extremely impressed. I thought he did a fantastic job. He he's got West Side Gun on here. He's got Styles P, Ransom, and Smoke DZA on the track. It's called SRD. He's got Rock Marcy and Flea Lord on here. Stove
Mm,
God is on here.
mm,
Uh, there's a song Next Chamber. It's Method Ray and Willie the Kid. Mayhem Loren is on here. He's got Ghostface and Crime Apple and Jim Jones on the track on here.
I mean, Caramel King 2 million, I guess 200,000. He's really promoting that "Who I Smoke" song. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like visually, I actually like this the video. I was like, yo, these kids is pretty creative, but content wise, yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
Who I Smoke video.
Yeah,
Hey
like
man.
the concept, the conceptual, the visuals of the video. I love it. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
I
you know what I
remember
mean?
that
Like,
video now.
but the
I remember that
content
video
of what, you know what I mean? Like what they talk about. That sound like people ready to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like,
now.
it's a
Yeah,
bit,
man.
bit much.
It, it, mm, delicious.
But
Rap snitch conditions. Yeah, but RIP to MF Doom. You
for
feel me?
sure.
Classic. But that was a clever concept for a video though. The whole sampling sampling the thing, you know. But yeah, man, Peter Rosenberg album, my fifth selection for the potential album of the year so far. I'm on the lookout for a Kendrick album. I want to see if we can get one, mess around and get one. You know, it's in the air.
Mega BKNY. He said, "I know we love hip hop, but I be in my R&B bag heavy, as do I, my brother.
Me too.
So we definitely, you know what I mean. We try to
I'm
get
down
you
to do an
on or
R&B
R&B. Yes,
episode.
for sure. And yes, that her album is heavy in my rotation.
The R&B
Uh
special.
oh man, she's like my favorite artist right now on the R&B
Her.
tip. Yeah, her.
She's
Her voice is just
she's fire.
amazing.
I
Snow Allegra as well.
Snow
Um,
Allegra is nice. Somewhere out there in the world, in some kind of a pressing facility, is a vinyl of SZA's "Good Days" single on its way out to me. You know, destined to be in my possession. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to get my hands on that. I love SZA. SZA to
I
me
was
is
just about to say I'm waiting for SZA and
hmm
Rihanna. I was waiting for her. She dropped.
I don't think we're
So,
I don't
I
think we're
know
gonna get
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Oh man, Rihanna might wait 5 more years and just pop out, pop out with something. But yeah,
We
SZA.
might get a greatest hits album or something before we even get
Mm,
her next album. You feel me? I feel
uh,
like she's on that type of time. Like, hey, yo,
yo, give me a
let's
lost
get this music.
tapes. I know you got some records out there. Give me a lost tapes.
I want to hear more anti sessions.
Yeah, for sure. But Savvy man, I'm ready to get out of here, man. I gotta eat. Had a long day. This is a beautiful thing
Definitely.
touching up on these topics, man. Appreciate you guys in the chat joining in. Um, give us
Hip
some
hop.
suggestions, man. Give us some suggestions. We'll do a little short segment, short video on it. But what I mean, we're gonna get this thing going and moving. Um, Salute to y'all. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time.
Shout out to the chat.
Savvy D. I don't know. We definitely gonna be back for that verses. We definitely gonna be back for for
Definitely gonna be
the
back for that versus.
you
That's
know,
gonna be an epic event.
and maybe we'll come back and do another Drake versus Kanye after we settle in with the album. But
Yeah.
That might be a little while from now because that 2 hour I can't listen to nothing for 2 hours straight. You know what I mean? Unless I'm driving. Um, but yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Salute. Your Blackest Time.
Salute, hip hop, hip hop. We smoking on your top five tonight.
Peace. Oh, that was dope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.